A very good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much indeed for joining me back here at Tim's a Pilot on twitch.tv. And of course the YouTube channel Jetstream TV. So this afternoon we're going to take a flight in one of the most treacherous parts of the world ever, the Himalayas, and we are departing Kathmandu, heading east and attempting to land at an airport which is extremely dangerous. Paro in Bhutan, the province of Bhutan. It's a manual approach that you've got to fly down through a valley, very, very dangerous indeed, and you have to have visuals to make the landing. I've done it a number of times. Today I'm going to take you along for the ride. We're in the Boeing, Pmdg Boeing 737-600 in the Boeing demonstrator livery. Around about midday, real world weather in Kathmandu. It's not real time, but it is real world weather. So that could be anything. It could be misty, there could be low-lying fog in the valley on the approach into Paro. It could be very treacherous indeed, but this makes out to be a very, very interesting flight. If we look at the flight plan very quickly, and there isn't much to it, as you can't even specify a proper arrival into Paro. So departing out of Kathmandu and then doing a clockwise circular motion to avoid the high ground as we climb up through the levels, Igris, Romeo 102 Tango and various other waypoints. When we get to Kimti, we're going to veer off and do a manual heading and fly direct to Mount Everest. Try and have a look at the various base camps while we're flying over the over Mount Everest. We've got Lukla here, which is probably the world's most dangerous airport, and then after Everest we'll come back on track and we'll head direct down to Paro for an extremely difficult landing. I'll just show you very quickly on the map what happens with Paro. So there is the airfield itself, and there is a valley here. So we will begin the approach from the end of this valley, fly down through the valley, all manually flown, which brings us in then to Paro itself, over the village of Paro, but you cling into this hillside here, and just at the last minute you swing past this hillside and then turn very late and arrival onto runway 15 at Paro. Without further ado, let's go flying, ladies and gents, and thanks once again for joining me here at Jetstream TV and Tim's a Pilot on twitch.tv. I don't really fly very often in this part of the world. It's normally around the UK and Europe doing standard charter flights. So this is something a bit different for the channel today, but the arrival into Paro, I can assure you, is extremely exciting, nail-biting, and it's up there. I think it's in the top 3 of the world's most difficult approaches. And here we are at Kathmandu Tribhuvan International, and the weather does not look great, I'm not going to lie, especially with all the high ground around in the Himalayas that we have here. This is going to make for a very, very challenging flight today. There's the Boeing 737-600 in the demonstrator livery as we taxi to the active. A few checks that we've got to do. FMC, obviously I'm going to program in that we're going to go down to Paro. We are going to make some deviations and some heading changes en route to go and see Mount Everest, etc. I might have to change the weather because this isn't looking good, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, we are taxiing to the active now. And there we are. Parking brakes are about to get set on that runway. Oh, is he turning round? Turning around, what's going on? I love these automated sequences. Is he turning round? Yeah, he is. That's interesting. Well, it'll be runway 20 then, won't it? Right, I've no idea where the where the autopilot's taking this, but anyway, makes for interesting viewing, doesn't it? Going round on the grass for some reason, but there you go. That's one way of doing it. This weather does not look good at all, to be honest with you. It really doesn't. Well, that's one way to do it. Runway 20 and we are ready to go. Ready to fly. Let's do a few checks, get the FMC programmed, and let's get on our way to Paro. Okay, so there we are in the Boeing 737 Pmdg. Is that on now? Is that on? We'll just check the exterior. Yeah, landing lights are on. Yeah, this weather doesn't look good at all, but you know what, we'll just roll with it. And runway taxi lights are on. Flight director engaged. We will set the VS up to 2,500 feet for our rate of climb. 10,000 feet initially. We're going to go up to, I think it was 41,000 today. That's the ceiling level, max ceiling level for the 737-600. And we will just increase the EFIS range there ever so slightly so we can get a better view of what's going on with the flight plan. That should do us for now. Let's go down to the FMC. I'm going to change one of the external views as well while I'm here before we depart. Bear with me a minute. So we've already got a nose cam view, so let's change view 9 and let's come back into the cockpit. I want a good tail, I want a good cockpit nose cam view. What I want from the pilot's actual viewpoint. There we go. Is that the view we want? I think it is. Ladies and gents, right, we'll just store off view 9 there. And yes, we've got a beautiful captain's view there now, ready for the ready for the flight. So, where were we? Right, back into the cockpit. Let's go down to the FMC. Let's get this program for our flight today. FMC, right. Let's get the information in. We're at Kathmandu. RTE, right. Our origin is Victor November Kilo Tango, Tribhuvan International at Kathmandu. So, Victor November Kilo Tango. That should recognise Kathmandu for the origin. In we go. There it is. Just checking on the screen recording on the phone, ladies and gents. It fucked up majorly yesterday. Victor Quebec Papa Romeo is our arrival at Bhutan. Victor Quebec Papa Romeo. Stick that in there. Okay, that's our departure and arrival done. RTE. Init ref, and 41,000 feet is our cruising altitude today, and we really are going to have to be up at that level because we're going to fly directly over Mount Everest on a sightseeing trip as well during this flight. Should be very exciting. 410 is in the box. We'll go with 15 on the cost index, and we'll take 10.0 on reserves today. Right, that's all good. Right, let's go to the legs page, departures and arrivals. So the departure out of Kathmandu today is from runway 20 on an IGRI 1 Alpha. So we'll select 20 and we want an IGRI 1 Alpha, which is there in the box. We'll click that on the route, bang, done. Then we need to go to departure and arrival, and the arrival actually into Paro is very good question, I think. It's going to be 3-3, isn't it? So we'll do 3-3. I couldn't even tell you what the arrival is, but it is giving us options here. It wasn't doing that in the sim. We'll just take any random. We'll just go with a Tashi one. Tashi one arrival. Why not? No transition. We'll go to the legs page, get rid of any flight discontinuities, which we've got there. Runway 33. I think is it 33? We're doing it manual anyway. It doesn't matter as long as we get to Paro itself. That's fine. Let's just check the. Let's click Tashi there. Go back. Click that, so it overwrites that. That's good. Runway 33 at Paro. Excuse me. So let's check the route. So Kathmandu, Delta 270 Delta, Delta 084 Delta, Igris. At Igris we're going to be making a left hand turn and heading directly over to Mount Everest. And yeah, quite a short flight plan today, to be honest with you. It's just shy of an hour. But there is some sightseeing en route which will add a bit more onto the journey, but the descent down through the Himalayas and into Paro should be very, very exciting indeed. Let's check the PFD, let's see what the flight plan's saying. Is the discontinuity there? FMC, let's just get rid of that. Let's have a closer look at that screen. Tell you what we'll do instead of having it, we'll have a merged view. We'll have a merged view of the flight plan. Bear with me a minute. Why can't I change views on that? Give me a second. I'm gonna do a manual view for this now. So let's have a flight plan and PFD view. I need to make sure I've got all the buttons in there. Right, that's an excellent view, that's perfect. Let me just save that off. And that's going to go in position 0. Let's just check that view. That's the pilot's window cam view, and perfect. Look at that, beautiful. Should have done that a while ago. Anyway, that's our view, perfect. We're currently at 4,300 feet above sea level, believe it or not, on the ground at Kathmandu here. So I think we'll increase our altitude ever so slightly for our departure. Let's just make sure everything's in the box. Speed's got to be 250 or more for the climb out. We'll make it much faster than that. Get us up through the levels faster, so we'll climb out at 290 initially. We're going to increase our altitude to make it 16,000 on climb out. 2,500 feet vertical speed. That's all good. I think we are ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. Right, okay, so just check that we have our flaps in for departure. Yeah, we are set for takeoff. Check the external. Weather really isn't great here, but you know what, we'll go with it. Right, we're ready to go. Parking brake on. Power's coming up. Engine stable. Levels rising. 40% N1 and parking brake released. Cleared takeoff at Kathmandu. Let's take ourselves to Mount Everest and one of the most dangerous landings in the world at Paro. Any knots? Cross-checked. Everything stable. B1. Rotate. Just through B2. Positive rate. Gears coming up. Throttling back the engines to 70% N1. And we are climbing out, and we need to do this circular clockwise motion on the departure to avoid any high ground. So the autopilot is going in. Autopilot's at command 1. Oh, we don't want V nav, we want L nav. Just make sure we can see that the autopilot is in. Command 1 is there. Let's just check the FMC because it doesn't seem to be following anything. Bear with me. I need to zoom in on the PFD there, bear with me a minute guys. Just need to avoid this high ground, we're okay at the moment. Zoom in on the EFIS range there. That's the flight plan's not giving us anything at the moment. Bear with me. 2 minutes. We're going to have to play around with the FMC here because it's not following the track at all. I've not executed it, that's why. Idiot. Execute that. There we go. That should give us the route now. LNAV should go in. Bear with. LNAV. That should give us a turn. It's not doing anything. Why not? Disengage the autopilot. Sorry about this, guys. Autopilot's going back in. CMD. LNAV, let's try that again. What is going on? Sorry about this guys, I'm just getting clear of the high ground here at 10,000 feet. We'll just do direct to this guy here, execute that, that should give us a turn. Is it doing anything? Are we about to make a turn here? Please give me the turn. LNAV. Yeah, there we go. Right, sorted. Apologies, ladies and gents. Nightmare that was. So there we go, making a right hand turn now as we depart Kathmandu. I'm going to have to get a screenshot of some of this. It's going to be absolutely incredible, this thumbnail, for the flight, to be fair. Oh, look at that aircraft underneath us. What a shot. Interesting. There he goes. Where's he off to? Probably going into Kathmandu. That's very interesting indeed. It's beautiful, isn't it? I've got a screenshot of that, actually. Right, we'll bring some of them flaps in now. Wow, look at the God rays. There is God rays in the game. I can't believe it. Oh my God. There is God rays, or is that rain? I was only saying this on yesterday's flight, to be honest with you. Has anybody ever seen God rays in the game? And I'm quite sure they're God rays unless it's rain. Anyway, let's get rid of these flaps now. Bringing the flaps in. Okay, that's flaps up, all configured. Our departure from Kathmandu now. Thanks very much indeed for joining us here at Tim's a Pilot at twitch.tv, streaming live. Currently just departed Kathmandu in the Himalayas in Nepal. We are heading over for a flight down to Paro, which is in the top 3 of all of the world's most difficult to land at airports. Extremely dangerous, has to be hand flown for the approach through a valley, avoiding a lot of mountainous terrain. And this is real world weather right now in Kathmandu. It's not real time, I've just set it for just after lunchtime. But we are climbing out from Kathmandu. We're going to be climbing up to 41,000 feet and we'll be following the track down to Paro. And then at one of the waypoints we'll be veering off and doing some heading changes to fly directly over Mount Everest. Have a look at base camps 1 and 2 and then getting back on track for a landing down at Paro. Let's just see how we're doing here. Let's go back in the cockpit. There's Kathmandu beneath us, the city of Kathmandu, as we fly our track now, heading up through the levels. I need to increase the altitude here. There's so much cloud around and so many mountains. Let's get up to our cruising altitude of 41,000 feet. We'll go to 310 initially and see how we go with the high ground. In the trusty Pmdg 737-600 again today. 31,000 we need. 31,000 set and running. There we go. Right, we'll just make sure the VS is working, and we will climb at 2,500 feet per minute. There we go, up above the clouds, avoiding any high ground that there is around. We'll get the landing lights off now, and the taxi lights can come off as well. Go to the newly configured views. So what I've done is I've preset a new view now, which gives us our PFD. You can see the track there now as we're making a right hand turn heading direct Igris, and there's also a view of the FMC as well, so any changes that we need to make, everybody can see clearly what's going on. We've got the altitude, we've got the speed, we've got everything else that we need on the PFDs, as well as the FMC view and all of the buttons to make changes if necessary. Just going to tweak that view just a little bit because it doesn't seem to be very straight to me, but there you go. Let's just tweak that a little bit, move that over. Gives us the FMC, it gives us the PFDs. That should do us. Just let me save that off again. Which view was it? It was 0, wasn't it? Let me just zoom out again. That's perfect. We'll save that off again. There's our new view saved. So we've got a beautiful new pilot's view as well. Look at the clouds there. This is special, isn't it? Thanks for coming along for the ride, guys. This is something a bit different and a different part of the world than what we're used to. Departing Kathmandu right now in Nepal just after midday, and we're going to be making a track over to Mount Everest. Just up the speed ever so slightly. Let's get ourselves there a little bit faster. 305 knots now, clearing all of the high ground. We'll just increase the EFIS range there ever so slightly. There we go. Right, let's just check the map view for a second on our departure. So at Kimti we need to be making a left hand turn. This is Mount Everest basically, so when we're at Kimti we're going to make a manual heading change, head over to Mount Everest, and then we'll rejoin the track here and then fly down into Paro. So there's quite a lot of aircraft in the area, to be honest with you. We'll have to keep our eye on this. That's our aircraft now. We should be making a right turn to Igris, and I'll keep you posted as we get closer to Kimti, and then we can make a manual change with the heading and head over to Mount Everest. And I think Everest is there off to the left hand side. You can see it, the highest peak there on the left, poking through the clouds. Beautiful day for flying, it really is, very nice indeed. I think we'll keep it at 310 today. It should give us a nice closer look at Mount Everest as we go past. Probably not going to see the details of base camps 1 and 2, but the thought was there initially, ladies and gents. 26 minutes into the stream now. You are watching Tim's a Pilot at twitch.tv live, and the YouTube channel is Jetstream TV. We're in the Boeing 737-600 Pmdg today. We've just departed Kathmandu and we are heading east to Paro, one of the world's most dangerous airports to land at. Has to be manually hand flown through a valley. We've got a lot of weather today. There's lots of clouds here, so that should make it extremely challenging for the arrival into Paro. Just climbing up through the levels, currently at 29,000 by the looks of things. 29,700 for 310. So we'll keep it at 310 today. It is earmarked for 410. In fact, we can change the flight plan to adjust that. Never actually altered that before, bear with me a minute. So let's do 310, let's recalculate. There we go, updated. Execute that, that's fine. Back to the legs. Currently heading direct Tashi, 212 nautical miles inbound. I need to find Igris. Where's Igris on the flight plan? Igris isn't on the flight plan at the moment. Kimti. Is it Kimti where I need to make a left change for Everest? Yes, it was Kimti, wasn't it? I think we should just head over to Everest now. We'll do a manual heading for that, and then direct. Where are we flying direct to now? Tashi. Yeah, that's fine, that's our arrival into Paro. So what we'll do now, ladies and gentlemen, is make a manual heading adjustment and head direct for Mount Everest, which is over to the left hand side. Let's change our heading. And we'll make a left hand turn, which should take us direct over to Everest. There's our left turn now. Flight level 310 in the cruise over the Himalayas, heading direct to Mount Everest, and then tracking back down on our route for a Tashi arrival into Paro, one of the world's most treacherous and dangerous airports to land at. We'll be manually hand flying the aircraft through a number of valleys on the approach into Paro. Very, very difficult indeed. And we've got a lot of cloud cover here today. It's real world weather that we've got plumbed in. So it could make for an extremely, extremely scary landing into Paro later. But that is the plan anyway. One of the world's most dangerous airports. That's where we're going into today, guys. Please stick with us, things are going to get intense. So let's go with the captain's view. There we go, as we head direct to Mount Everest. I'm not sure how high Mount Everest is actually, but we're currently at 310 and it's looking like we'll be very close at that flight level once we get closer to Everest. Let's just check the map. There's our track. So Everest, I do believe, is it's one of these anyway, and you can't really mistake it because it's one of the highest mountains in the region. So I'm thinking it's here. Anyway, we can see what the highest one is out the window, and it's looking like it's this one here. Just zoom in on Everest there. That's looking like Everest to me. I'm telling you what, I don't know whether 310 is actually going to cut it. with the clearance, to be honest. I'll make a slight heading adjustment there just so we're bang on for Everest. Bring it left 10 degrees. Should bring us in directly for the peak of Everest. Just bringing that a bit more to the left now. 045 on the heading. That should make us absolutely bang on for the peak of Everest. We're slightly off. We'll bring it back to 050. Wow. Detail. It's rather sensational, wouldn't you agree? Very interesting flight this, slightly different to the norm. I'm going to start doing a number of flights with some of the hairiest approaches and most difficult airports to land at in the world. They're going to be the next number of flights, so there's quite a few. You can Google them yourselves, the top 20 scariest and most dangerous landings in the world, and we'll be ticking them off the list basically. Paro is rated at number 2 or 3 in the world as the most difficult after Lukla in Nepal. We'll be flying past Lukla today, but we won't be able to see that unfortunately, we're too far north. But all flights heading to Everest base camp basically fly into Nepal, into Lukla, the world's most dangerous airport, and Paro is either number 2 or number 3. That's where we're going into today, so should make for exceptional viewing this afternoon. Heading direct Mount Everest there, as you can see. I'm hoping flight level 310 is going to be high enough to clear the peak, but I want to be going directly over the summit of Everest. Then we'll track back to where we need to be on the flight plan for our arrival into Paro. 34 minutes into the stream. Thanks once again for joining me. It's Tim's a Pilot here at twitch.tv. Currently live flying over Mount Everest in the Himalayas, heading down to Paro. Just got to bring it right a little bit on the track so we can go directly over the summit. I have to get a screenshot of Everest here as we approach, aren't I? That could be the thumbnail for the flight, so you'll notice a slight pause, but this should take us right over the summit of Everest here now. And there's our screenshot, Everest in the view. Wow, look at that. Directly over the summit of Everest. Screenshotted that as well. Beautiful. There is Mount Everest, ladies and gentlemen, as we fly right over the peak of Everest here in the Himalayas. There it is, Mount Everest. See if we can see any of the base camps. Well, not today, it's not playing ball, is it? But there is Everest, ladies and gents, as we are in the cruise. we'll continue now along our flight path and get back down to where we should be. Now that we've had a look at Everest on the sightseeing tour, we'll just jump into the new... Oh! Helps if you press the right button, doesn't it? Right, we need to be heading direct Tashi, so we'll just click LNAV again. That should take us back to where we need to be. The one heading select needs to be off, and then we'll go LNAV. Why is LNAV not working? Disconnect the autopilot. Re-engage the autopilot, Command A, and then LNAV should... Right, just check on the FMC, 2 minutes. Right, we'll go direct to this waypoint, see if that makes any change, execute that, hit LNAV. That should give us a right hand turn. There we go. Back on track for Paro, ladies and gents. 37 minutes into the stream now, over the Himalayas, as we make our right hand turn heading direct Paro. A very, very treacherous approach. This has to be manually hand flown. And our screenshot is uploaded to the Xbox network. Fantastico. I'm just going to step away from the flight deck 2 minutes. I need a coffee. I'm going to have to get fueled up here for the arrival, because this is going to be really quite a tricky approach and landing into probably the world's second most dangerous airport. I tell you what we can do very quickly before I do make that coffee. We'll check on the map. Obviously we're over the Himalayas right now. You can see the mountains on the terrain. We're going into Paro, and let's just check on the altitude of Paro so we know what we need to be at for the approach. I'm going to say around about 10,000, 7,324 feet above sea level, believe it or not. And it's quite a small runway, it's a short runway at 7,428 feet. It's a tarmac runway, but the approach into Paro is extremely, extremely difficult. So that's good. No lower than 10,000. There's high ground all around the airport, so yeah, we're going to have to do a visual one on this and keep it very, very careful indeed. So yeah, 7,000 for Paro, so no lower than 10,000 on the approach. That's all good to know. Bring it down through the levels as we get closer to Paro, and luckily we've got a nice clear day. There is some cloud, but we should be completely fine for getting down to the airport safely. And that is heading direct Paro there, as you can see. And we're about 150 nautical miles inbound, so I think I'm gonna, after making this coffee, I'll leave you with the captain's view, and we'll begin our descent probably after we've gone past this big boy here. So for the time being, I'll leave you just for a couple of minutes with some of the sensational views that you have here in the Himalayas. Another screenshot there. The mountains look absolutely incredible, don't they? Let's check the other side. Oh, that looks equally as good. We'll have a screenshot of that as well. Very nice. A number of thumbnails for the YouTube channel there. Sorry for the pauses on the video, guys, but it is what it is. So I'll leave you with the nose cam heading over the Himalayas just while I make a quick coffee. I'll be back in the cockpit very shortly, guys. Thanks very much indeed for your company. Hi guys, back on the flight deck as we hurtle towards Paro over the Himalayas now, leaving Mount Everest behind. There is Everest off in the distance. Okay, let's check the map, see how we're doing. Heading direct to Paro now, we're about 100 nautical miles inbound. Yeah, we're going to have to start descending here. We're just going to be very careful to avoid any high ground. Let's go back into the cockpit and we'll start bringing this baby down a bit. We'll come down initially to about 25,000, see how we're doing on the high ground. It's got to be very, very careful to avoid any of these mountains, to be honest. And we'll come down at 2,500 feet per minute. That's just dipping the nose of the aircraft now, hoping that we don't have any issues with terrain. This is a very, very, very treacherous approach into Paro. Very treacherous indeed. That's rather a special view. I think we'll have a screen grab of that as well, with the mountains off. Get rid of that master caution, we don't need that in the screenshot, do we? And 3, 2, 1, screenshot now. Nice. Some of these peaks are looking rather close for my liking, to be honest with you. And there's a lot of cloud levels there as well. We're going to be going through cloud at some point on the arrival into Paro. This is really quite sketchy. Heading direct to Papa Romeo 784, 83 nautical miles inbound now, which is just the near side of Paro Airport. 82.7 nautical miles with a ground speed of 460 miles per hour. Lovely tailwind at 19 knots at 269 now as we pass 26,400 for 25,000. Currently doing 300 knots. We have to keep our eye on this terrain now on the descent here. We've just had the audible tone from the altimeter to say that we've arrived at our flight level 250 now. It's going to be very sketchy. This is going to be a lot of cloud in them valleys down to Paro. How do you turn the terrain on for the PFD on the PMDG? That's the next question, so we can actually monitor where the high ground is. How do you do that? Interesting. Very interesting. How do you turn the terrain on? Get rid of that FMC warning on the dash. There's got to be a setting on here somewhere, surely, for the terrain. Anyway, let's not panic about that for now. We'll just keep our eyes on the visuals here. very impressive, isn't it? I'll have another screenshot there. That looks beautiful. Stunning, actually. Bank. So if you've just joined us in the stream, thank you so much indeed for your company. It's Tim's a Pilot here at twitch.tv, currently live, heading from Kathmandu in Nepal down to the world's second most dangerous approach and landing for any airport in the world, Paro in Bhutan. We're currently having to watch the high ground as we descend from 31,000 feet. We've just flown directly over Mount Everest and the various base camps that there are there, and now we are heading on a south-easterly trajectory down to Paro for what could be one of the sketchiest landings that I've ever done in my entire life. There is a lot of cloud around in the valleys, which is going to make the approach, which has to be hand flown into Paro, extremely difficult. And those clouds really aren't going to help with the arrival, but you know what? We have to deal with what we are given. The cards were dealt with. So we're currently at 25,000. I think we can, I'm looking at the high ground directly ahead there. I think we can risk 20,000 now, so we'll bring the aircraft down by another 5,000 feet and see how we get on closer to Paro. That's 20,000 in the box, set and running. VS, we're going to come down at we'll come down at 3,000 feet per minute, hoping there's no mountains of 25,000 anywhere near us. Let's just check the EFIS here, 1 second. Okay, so there's the airport. That's all well and good. Okay, so 40 nautical miles inbound to Paro right now. I think what we'll do is we'll just head direct to the runway, and then we're on the exact track for where we need to be. Execute that. That should give us a right hand turn now, hopefully avoiding any high ground. That's perfect, it's doing what it needs to do. Okay, coming down to 20,000 feet now in the descent over the Himalayas, heading direct Paro into one of the most treacherous areas of the world, and an extremely difficult landing. Thank you so much indeed guys for joining us. Nail biting stuff here on the channel today, something quite different to the norm, and there's going to be a series which I'm going to do on Google. If you Google the world's 20th most treacherous and difficult airports to land at, I'm going to be ticking them off one by one and doing live streamed flights for each of the world's most treacherous and difficult airports. 20 in total. I'd like you to come along for the ride on those ones, guys. Right, the high ground here is getting quite worrying. I need to be really switched on here now. The approach for Paro has to be a manual landing. It's no automated landing. There's no ILS at the airport. It's literally hand flown, and that mountain's getting rather large in the cockpit window. Right, I'm going to slow the aircraft down as well now, because we're hurtling very quickly here, and then I need to bring the speed down for the approach. I'm going to bring the speed down to 220 knots. See, this weather's not good at this flight level. I don't need these clouds with these mountains all around. 52 minutes into the stream, guys, coming up to an hour now. Yeah, this looking rather close, some of these mountains, wouldn't you say? I would. I can't take any lower than 20,000 at the moment. Some of these peaks are above 20,000. Right, okay, let's see what the mountains are doing ahead. Right, we're just literally going to have to disengage the autopilot and fly through the valleys down to Paro. We're really not far away at all now, bear with me. On the EFIS there, 40 miles. The airport is less than 20 miles away, ladies and gents. Okay, bear with me a minute. I'm going to have to... This is tricky. Oh, there's the valley for Paro. Right, autopilot's coming out. Autopilot is coming out, that's it. I'm flying the rest of the flight now. Okay, I have control down through the valley into Paro.
Bank angle.
Yeah, don't care if there's a bank angle. We're going to make this as scenic and as beautiful an arrival into the world's second most dangerous airport in the world.
Caution, terrain.
Yeah, I've got the terrain caution, thank you.
Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up.
Okay, there is the valley of Paro
Terrain,
beneath
terrain.
us.
Pull up. Terrain. Pull up.
Wow,
Up.
that's close.
Pull up. Caution, terrain.
Okay, just going to stick some speed brakes in now. And we'll get some flaps in as well. Flaps down to 15. Trying to avoid any of this high ground that we've got here.
Pull up.
Okay, let's avoid these mountains. It's probably a good thing. I really need to slow the aircraft down. We'll get rid of the auto throttle as well. Auto throttle disengaged.
Terrain. Pull up.
And we'll get the flaps in full now. Let's get this aircraft really slowed down.
Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up.
Right, it's just round that next mountain, so we really need to slow things down here, guys.
Terrain. Pull up.
Okay, let's get the gear down.
Pull up. Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up. Terrain.
As we come in
Pull up.
for the landing at Paro,
Terrain. Pull
let's
up.
just check on the speed brakes there. We don't need them anymore. Let's get rid of that. Okay, this is it, guys. Hair-raising stuff here
Pull up.
on the approach into Paro.
Sink rate. Pull up. Sink rate.
I'm going to set the auto brakes now before touchdown.
Terrain. Pull up.
There's the airfield, guys.
Terrain. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Air brakes going in.
Pull up. Too low. Terrain.
That's a missed approach, guys. Very difficult.
Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Terrain.
Flaps coming back out. Get rid of them air brakes. Don't need them. Let's make sure the gear's going up.
Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up.
Get rid of that gear. We don't need that.
Bank angle. Bank angle. Terrain. Pull up.
Oh, we're stalling. Jesus Christ, this is close, guys.
Pull up. Too low. Gear.
Okay, so let's try that again. Right, let's configure the aircraft properly again. We'll get the flaps down. Get the aircraft slowed down.
Terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up.
Hopefully we can get it down this time properly.
Terrain. Caution. Terrain.
Nail-biting stuff here, guys, on the channel as we approach the hour mark on the stream, as we have just had a missed approach into Paro, the world's second most dangerous and treacherous airport to land at. There's the shadow with the aircraft on the mountainside there as we approach Paro. Just need to get the aircraft slowed down just enough for the arrival here.
Bank angle.
And the airfield's off to our left there. We can just about see the airport. There it is. There's the airfield. There we go, guys.
Sink rate. Sink rate.
Don't worry about the sink rate.
Sink rate. Pull up.
It's all good. It's all good.
Pull up.
Go.
Pull up.
Get this baby down.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Sink rate. Sink rate. 10.
On the ground at Paro, ladies and gentlemen. That was sketchy stuff, I'm not going to lie. Very, very sketchy indeed, but we've made it. Thank God for that. Get them brakes in. Whew. Okay. That was knuckle biting stuff here, guys. Very, very, very hair-raising stuff. Just as we reached the hour mark on the stream here, and landed it safely on the second attempt in Paro. Wow, look at the terrain we've just come through for that. Well, that was tricky to say the least. Let's get this baby turned round at the end, and we'll park up at the airport, and we'll do what we normally do. We'll take the drone out for a bit of a fly around the valley here in Bhutan, and have a closer look around Paro International. I'll get them flaps up. We don't need them now. That's all good. Christ, that was knuckle biting stuff. Haven't had to do many go-arounds in the sim so far, so that was very touch and go on the first approach. Way too fast as well. I had to reel the speed off there on the second attempt. But it certainly did the job. Right, let's can we taxi down? Is that a taxiway? I think it is, yeah. Okay, we'll take that then. We can go with that. Or is it a road? We'll try it anyway. Is that a road? It's not a taxiway, that is it? Or is it? Should we risk it? Why not? Quite a lot of detail at Paro Airport here. You can even see the floodlights there on the left hand side. Very nice. Yeah, it is a taxiway. I didn't think it had one here. I thought you had to turn around. There's some fences here. Are we going to clear these fences? Tell you what, that's close, isn't it? How close the wings are to that. Interesting. Anyway, I think I'm actually outside the airport perimeter here, to be honest with you. Or are we? Let's get down to the terminal, we'll soon find out. Is that the airport? Is that the airport? One second, let's get these brakes on here. That's not the airport. It is. It is. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, we'll park up outside the airport then. Probably the easiest thing. And hopefully the nose of the aircraft hasn't gone through the building. No, we're just shy. That's not the airport, surely. Right, let's get the drone out, let's have a look. Welcome to Paro, ladies and gentlemen. I forgot to announce that. Okay, we'll focus up, we'll increase the zoom level ever so slightly to 70, around about 70, and up the drone speed ever so slightly as well. For some reason the drone cam's always slightly tilted. But here we are at Paro, guys, and there is the Boeing 737, the Pmdg 737-600 on the ground at Paro Airport. Should we switch the engines off and watch the engines spool down? Yes, we can. Engines going off. Oh, see how the pilots are doing. If we can get the view. Yeah, there they are. How you doing, guys? All good? Excellent stuff. Right, let's have a look round Paro, shall we? That's not the airport, surely. That can't just be the airport. Oh, there's another terminal building here, actually. Actually, the airport's here. We should have parked further down. Not to worry though. Beautifully modelled buildings here at Paro. Very nice. Looks like we've got a business jet here as well. Paro International Airport, ladies and gentlemen. Very nice too. I've never had a look round the airport here. The detail and the modelling is actually very, very nice indeed. Look at the detail on there. Stunning. Well done, Asobo. Let's have a look round this business jet here. Looks like they're ready to go with one of the marshals. One of the marshals doing their thing, making sure everything goes to plan. That makes for a very, very special screen grab, that, doesn't it? The detail is it's absolutely phenomenal on the airport. I love it. Well, one second, let's get a screen grab of that. That's quite a nice shot, actually, to be fair. That should do us. Lovely screenshot. 3, 2, 1, bang. Nice, but I did park in the wrong place. But we are here safe, and that's all that matters. Here at Bhutan, Paro International. Let's have a quick look around the rest of the airfield here. They've got more hangars. Very nicely put together, this, it really is. Even all of the buildings, the exterior of the airport. So we've got a nice little river there as well. Some roads, lovely. Some cargo containers. That must be the tower. Interesting. Fuel trucks, vans. We've got it all here at Paro International. But that is one sketchy arrival. Look at that mountain directly ahead on the approach. That's why you've got to skim around the edge of that and turn at the last moment. And you've got to get it right. You don't get that right, you're in a lot of trouble. You've got a river there. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Tell you what, that'd make for a nice thumbnail as well, wouldn't it? For the approach. Let's just... what looks better, that one or that one? I'm quite liking that, to be honest. Let's get a bit more of that river in the shot. That's looking like a nice thumbnail for the arrival, that. Yeah, we'll have that one. Thank you. Screenshot done. Level things up again. Even the detail on the fences, look at it. Well done. Well done indeed. Well, there we have it, guys. One of the world's most treacherous and difficult landings in the world, Paro International Airport. 70 minutes into the stream now. Thank you very much indeed for joining me here. Tim's a pilot on twitch.tv, and this video will be going up on YouTube later today. Be sure to watch it in its entirety. Leave me a comment, give me a subscribe, it would be much appreciated, and to the regular watcher, you know who you are, much appreciated. Until the next one, guys, take it easy. We'll see you on the next flight. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.